That's what I said.
That's what she said.
You played a great set, by the way, both nights.
I like that.
Yep.
If you guys have never seen Mike play, go and see him. Seriously, do yourself a favor. Go watch Mike.
That's wow. That's amazing. Just stop it.
My best advice is brought to you by Mim's Ukes. It's where I buy my ukuleles, and also by my amazing supporters on patreon.com. If you like the podcast and feel like supporting it, go to patreon.com/Mike Hind with a capital H and a capital M. And I'm here, you're not going to believe it, I'm here at the airport. That is the hand of God spanking us both. With Danielle Ate the Sandwich, I am geeking out like you wouldn't believe. Say hi, Danielle.
Hi, everybody. Hello. Hi.
It's actually not Danielle Ate the Sandwich. It's Danny, the world's foremost Danielle Ate the Sandwich impersonator.
I'm wearing glasses and I'm lonely, just like the real thing.
You are not right. Oh, this is going to be an insane podcast. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. I love advice. I love getting advice. I love hearing advice. I love hearing people's story about advice. And when I decided to do a podcast, I thought it would be a good idea to talk about advice because I am very selfishly trying to make myself better. I'm your host, Mike Hind, and this is my best advice. So I'm here with Danielle Ate the Sandwich. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am a singer and songwriter and ukulele player. I live in Fort Collins, Colorado. I got relatively well known thanks to the website on the internet, youtube.com. And
I've never heard of this.
I think you'd really like it. Children from around the world upload videos of them and their friends doing skateboard tricks. But instead of doing skateboard tricks, I put up videos of me performing songs on the ukulele.
Did you wear hats?
Sometimes I wore hats.
Okay.
Sometimes I even made songs about hats.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
And now I'm a professional touring musician, so I do it for my job, though anything I do is hardly ever professional.
Yeah, so you're an unprofessional musician.
Exactly. And I'm a pretty happy person. I'm growing into my 29th year. I'm trying to be less cynical, though I'm still very judgmental. And grateful for every day, because I think life's pretty good. And I like iced coffee.
And now tell me about your mother. No, sorry, that was a different thing. So, awesome, that is fantastic. And you, we're going to do a quick plug. You have a new CD out called The Drawing Back of Curtains. It will never stick in my head.
It's a hard turn of a phrase.
Yeah.
I thought it was like really poetic and clever, but turns out it's just a lot of letters to print on the beginning of a CD. It's hard to get people to say it. Should have just called it like Turbo or something.
Turbo, because that exactly describes your music very much.
The new album is called The Drawing Back of Curtains, and it serves as the soundtrack to an HBO documentary that I was hired to write the music for. And so it came out at the beginning of this year, but it's still carrying through events surrounding film festivals and the movie premiering on HBO, etc. have all been going on through this year, 2015. That's where we are, right? Who are you? Where am I?
I have no idea.
And it's a documentary about an artist who lived in the early 1900s and painted watercolors, oil paintings, lived in Provincetown, Massachusetts, and then was mysteriously put away into an insane asylum. All of her life's work and belongings were packed in a trunk until about a generation later her great niece discovered the paintings and kind of was brought up with them in her life and became an artist and an Emmy award-winning screenwriter and director herself. And so the film centers around the connecting of them and the unsolving of mysteries, the drawing back of curtains, if you will, which is the title of the disc.
See,
the
now it all
drawing
makes
back
sense.
of curtains.
And what is the name of this documentary?
The documentary is called Packed in a Trunk, The Lost Art of Edith Lake Wilkinson.
That's awesome. So check that out. Here's another plane for you.
They look far enough away that they shouldn't be.
I know they
that
shouldn't
loud
be
of a
that loud,
sound.
but we're on the 5th floor of the Holiday Inn in Clearwater, next to the Beta Airport in Tampa. At the Tampa Bay Ukulele Getaway, where Danielle killed it last night.
I did. I killed several people.
You did. And afterwards, she did a show covered in blood on stage. It was phenomenal. So this is about advice. Give us the story. Don't give us the advice yet. I keep forgetting to tell people that we're going to set the scene first and then we'll do the advice. So people are like, oh yes, and so it was my father that told me this. The advice is, I'm like, stop! So paint a story of the advice. Where were you both as a person and in the world? What year was this? How old were you when this advice happened?
Will you tell me the question again?
The question is, what was the best advice you ever got? Most people prepare for this. Danielle is more freewheeling.
Frivolity?
She's freeballing today.
Well, I kind of have to think about how I'm going to answer this question. I'm going to say that I got the advice this year.
Like 20 minutes ago, as we were
20
chatting.
minutes ago, as you told me to get, there was toilet paper on my shoe, and you told me to get it off. That was great advice.
Always look good when you walk. So it was this year, and who told you the...
This is going to come off real something. I'm going to say it was me. Can I give myself my own best
absolutely.
advice?
That's awesome. That's really cool. That's because I always give myself advice.
Yeah.
Most of it is stop touching yourself.
Stop touching yourself in public.
Oh, that's what they mean. Okay.
Yeah. At public pools especially. So it's more of a self-realization, I guess, more than advice that I was...
That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
No, I like that. That's really cool. Okay, so, and what does this person mean to you?
That's why your questions are going to be...
No, it's really loose.
This person is just like the coolest, funnest person to have at a slumber party. No, this person, means everything to me. I'm like a very insecure, but at the same time vain person. Maybe, which is what we are as artists, right?
Exactly. That is. We were just having a conversation about sort of shyness and the need to perform, and I had this conversation with Heather Nova as well, and I think I hit on it with Zoe Bestel. It is walking contradictions. It's. There was a Venn diagram that I saw on Facebook, and it said, what was it? Overriding ego, crippling self-doubt, and where it overlaps, it just said art.
Yes.
That's exactly correct.
Yeah.
I think most people as artists are incredibly egotistical and self-centered and at times arrogant, and yet
completely weak and
ready to pop like a balloon, screaming, crying, curling into a fetal ball.
It's just a beautiful life to get up every day and put yourself out there like that. But there's no other way to do it, in my opinion.
No, exactly. And living with that contradiction is, that's the challenge really, is figuring out how to sort of find the joy in that and minimizing the overriding ego that holds you back.
Yeah.
The unrealistic ego. I don't mind the ego if it's backed up. And then there's the crippling self-doubt. If we can figure out where we are, the ego is suddenly in control, and then the crippling self-doubt is in control, and they temper each other, I think.
Yeah. I talk to a lot of creative or talented people, but who haven't quite convinced themselves they're good enough to share it or put it out there. And I definitely started that way. I was a late bloomer, so I didn't really admit that to other people that I wrote songs and I wanted them to hear them until I was in my early 20s. And so I see these people and they're kind of like, how do I get a viral video, or how do I get a record deal? And I'm like, first you have to say what I'm doing is good enough and I believe it and I want people to hear it, even though I kind of hate myself most days. Maybe you might like this song. So it's a weird thing of just like convincing yourself for an instant that your song that you made, that sometimes you hate, sometimes you're in love with, is good enough for one person to hear. And then you perform it and you feel bad about yourself. And then you perform it the next night and you feel great about yourself. and it's a roller coaster ride.
And that is one of the things. I've been a massive fan of Danielle. She's one of the people that sort of, I keep saying this to you, but she's one of the people that when I started playing the ukulele, sort of let me know that it wasn't just about playing, Ooby Doo, I want to be like you, the silly songs that I want to do, that I could actually make proper music with it. And you were one of the people that sort of made me go, maybe you could try songwriting. And because I'd never thought, yeah, you could write a song. I'd written a couple with friends, but they were all ridiculous. One of them was called A View from Behind.
I have an idea what that might be about.
Well, it's about breakups and how when you break up with someone, you're cool and you don't usually want them back. But then when they break up with you, you're always after them. And what my favorite line in the thing was, "But you could never see me that way."
We need a plane to go by. Somebody, air traffic control.
Yeah, we're gonna have to stop so that we can edit one in. Next time plane. We're gonna actually import a cricket just for the end of that joke. But seriously, that was the line of the thing, and I was like, that's such a good line because the girl could never see me that way. The one that broke up with me, and the guys are like, no, we're not falling for it, dude. We know you're talking about. We know you're talking about something else. And I was like. Okay. But yeah, no, you were one of the people that sort of told me without telling me that hey, screw it, give it a shot. Because one of the things that I found so endearing about you was your shyness does come across, and honestly, one of the things that I admire most about you is that it comes across, and we as the audience can see how shy you are. And yet you're still doing it, and that's a level of bravery that I don't have.
Yeah.
And I really should stop gushing about this before you put a restraining order out on me. But I do admire you.
There's one that has been filed. We're just waiting for it
I'm
to
sure.
go through the system.
About for me.
Yes.
Okay. I was going to preempt you, but
I think that it's nice to have inspired you that way. There's people who are like, your songs are cute, or like, you're funny. But for someone, an artist, a performer, to look at me and be like, oh, cool.
Because I hate your music. It's awful.
It's terrible.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
but I admire.
That's a joke, but that's also fine too.
No,
you know what I mean?
but,
I think when you put yourself out there, you become a tool. That's an interesting thing too. To be an introvert, you write these songs in the safety and comfort of your bedroom to get yourself through the thing that you needed to write through or create through. And then when you put them out into the public, they then become everyone else's, and in a way, so do you.
Yeah.
Like, you're the songwriter, you got me through breakup, you're my best friend, I love everything about you. And it's like, oh, well, okay, I can't take that away from you. So I might not actually feel like I'm your best friend, but I would never want to make you feel that way.
Sorry, we're still in the hotel, and they're cleaning one of the rooms.
And the vacuums are getting closer.
Yes.
Hello.
So yeah, no, I completely just had to get out.
Nice carpet though.
It's beautiful carpet. I find myself fascinated by it. I keep
It's
getting
like
distracted by it.
squares of tan and blue with circles inside of each square. It's kind of like if plaid and circles went on the set of the Jetsons movie theater.
Yeah. This is probably going to be the beginning bit of the show.
This is the best advice.
Before the intro. Okay, so what was the advice
There wasn't actually
that you gave
a
yourself?
perfectly worded sentence that I told myself that I can coin as the best advice, but this year I'm 29 and I kind of came to just a sort of a realization that that I'm doing okay. I'll be okay, and I mean, this is gonna be a long, drawn-on answer, but just to like have gratitude for what you have, and if there's something you don't have, work hard to get it, but don't feel bad about yourself that you don't have it yet, or Yeah, I'm trying to think of even just like, there's probably like an old wives' saying that is like perfectly like, or something like, I've got everything, I don't have anything I don't want, or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a country song lyric.
Want what you need, don't need what you want.
Yeah. Or maybe, is there a Sheryl Crow cover that's like, it's having what you want and getting what you got.
Yeah, something like that. You saw, was that, I hope you don't have to pay royalties on it.
I think it was just bad enough. So so I don't have a brilliant, I'm a great songwriter, but I can never ever say anything spoken in regular dialogue that sounds wonderful. So my best advice was just me realizing, like, you're fine. You might not be the best at everything. You might not be like a supermodel. You might not be an astrophysicist. You might not be an incredible tennis player. But who gives a shit? Because you're...
Do you play tennis?
No, not at all.
You're just
I
pissed
just
off.
don't even... I was
You're
just
pissed
giving
off that
examples.
you're pissed off that you're not a great tennis player.
It's just always rubbed me the wrong way,
Yeah.
man. I just see tennis players waving their rackets
Like,
around.
fuck you. I've never even...
They're
I've
green
never-
balls.
Green balls?
They're green tennis balls.
Is that what they do in Colorado?
They have green balls. What do you have in Bermuda?
Yellow.
You have a cute... Well, I would say it's a fluorescent green, almost yellow. Would you say true yellow or fluorescent
I would
green?
say it's a bright yellow. Like
Huh.
that color.
Oh, no. I would say ours is green. I would say much more green.
It might be
than
the
that.
light in Colorado. It's a lot different. It's more, we're
It's not
babbling
as
nonsense now.
beachy.
We're babbling complete
That's
nonsense. It's
fine.
not as beachy, yes.
You should divert from my terrible advice.
No,
that I
it's
give
good
myself.
advice. It's good advice, and it's funny because I just did a podcast with Ukulele Underground with Audrine and Ryan, and one of the questions that they asked was, "What advice would you give your younger self?"
Yeah. And I would have totally said, young Danielle, you'll be just fine.
Would you have said it in that tone of voice?
I would have said, young Danielle,
Just to
it
creep
is
her
me,
out.
Danielle, from the future. Don't be scared, little girl. I think there's a beauty. I think the beauty is that if future Danielle would have come to younger Danielle and told me, you'll be just fine, be confident. Like, life is so much easier if you trust yourself.
That's exactly what I said. I said, "You're cool."
Yeah, you're cool.
They said, "What would you say?" I said, the thing to say was, "You're cool."
But do you think young Mike would have listened to future Mike's advice? Like,
Well-
I think some of the beauty is it took me 10 years to
Yes.
stumble and fall to get here and go, oh, man, I would have been getting laid so much if I had just...
I would have told young Mike that too.
What's that?
Just get laid a lot.
Lay everybody.
Everyone you can.
That TV.
That TV
That
will
chair.
be dry hump. I mean, no, it will be dry hump later after we're done. I'll take one end, you take the other.
That's a segment of the podcast.
Yeah.
You didn't write that in the email,
It'll be in the vlog.
I'm prepared for that part, but not the best advice question.
It'll be, you're prepared for the dry
I'm
humping
prepared
of
for
the
the
television.
dry hump of television.
The thing that kills me is there's couches here, there's tables, there's walls, and you chose the television mounted like 6 feet up.
I want to see if it can be done. And if there's a man in America or Bermuda who could do it, it would be my kind.
That's
Thank
true.
you very much, ladies and
From
gentlemen.
here, I could.
Just make serious eye contact. I think this podcast is going great.
I want to
It hasn't stirred up
Will you
pussy
be my
yet.
co-host from here on in on every
Uh-huh.
podcast ever?
Uh-huh.
It should just be Danielle and Mike talk bullshit. So I've said the F word, I've said the S word. I think it's
I
going to
said
have
the
the
S word
You
and I
said the
said
S word.
dry hump of TV,
Dry
which
hump
is
TV.
kind of counts.
This
as
is
one
getting
S
the
word.
explicit warning,
Good.
and I'm kind of proud of that.
I've got a lot of young fans. They're gonna love it.
They were all here tonight. This year, all 3 young people were here at Tampa.
All 3 of them. There were 3, weren't there?
There were 3.
They all kind of looked similar.
Have you found that ukulele players do tend to start merging into one of a certain group of people? I was at at UWC, which you have to go to. I'm saying
Yeah.
that because Mike keeps telling me to tell you that. But yes,
Yes.
you should come to UWC. It's wonderful.
I need to.
And
Introverts love week-long camping
they do.
parties.
And someone said something that turned out to, it sounded like a compliment, and then it turned out to be something rude about someone I'm not the fondest of. And I was like, I need to find out who said that so I can shake their hand.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, at UWC, I like everyone that goes there, but there are varying degrees of fondness. And this person was on the lower end of the scale. And I was like, I need to shake this guy's hand. And the guy who told me the story said, I don't know who it was. And I said, well, just point me where he went. He was like, no, seriously, I don't know who it was. And I said, well, what did he look like? He goes, he's an older white guy with white hair and a goatee. And I said, I will never find him, ever.
It's like looking for a needle in a haystack.
It's looking for a needle in a pile of needles. It's looking for a hay in a haystack, because that's all there is. And that's why I dyed this part of my beard, so I would look like the mirror from Star Trek version of the old white guy with the white goatee. I'm like the old white guy with the sort of badly dyed goatee and a horrifically long, horrible mustache.
Yeah, that is a funny thing to think about, how people describe you. Like, well, who stole your bag? Oh, he was a tall white guy from Bermuda, and he had glasses and a mustache. Like the words people would use. I'm sure they would say, like, she looked like a librarian. I don't know.
She looked like a really cute librarian. She looked like a sexy witch that would curse your dick. That's something she said to me yesterday. That's right, Danielle ate the sandwich told me that she would curse my dick.
I only said it after you said I looked like a witch.
I said you look like a sexy witch.
And I said, yeah, I guess, or a witch that would curse your dick, because I thought I looked like a menacing witch, not a witch you want to have at your spring break party.
But, well, I'm too old for spring break, dude.
I never did spring break. I'm too much of a bookworm.
We did, but it was more work. I was always working for spring break, but because I never went to college. So I just came back to Bermuda, and I think I partied at spring break like 2 years in a row, and then I got a job at a nightclub, and then it was like, yeah, spring break, and then like the next year it was like, oh Jesus, these kids, I'm gonna kill them all. Yeah. I'm 21, and I'm like, these goddamn kids, I hate them.
Were you raised in Bermuda?
I was born and raised in Bermuda.
That's so cool.
I know, it was a really good, it was a good way to grow up.
Yeah.
And you grew up in you were born in western Nebraska.
Yeah.
And there's a connection. My brother lives in Lincoln, which is in eastern Nebraska.
Yeah.
And then you grew up in Colorado?
I grew up half in Colorado, half in Nebraska.
Which half of you was growing up in Colorado?
The left side.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was
my
top
best
and
side,
bottom
yeah.
or left and right.
Yeah.
I'm always curious about that.
I was born and raised through 8th grade in Nebraska, and then 8th at like high school in Colorado, and that's where I still exist.
Is that side of Nebraska sort of like Colorado? Like, is it similar?
Not at all.
Because I found that there are actual like weird differences in the states. Even Lincoln and Omaha are quite near the border, and I found there's differences between Kansas, Missouri, Iowa. Yeah, Des Moines, Iowa. That there are differences between everything, cultures, even that close to each other.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of conservative, depending on what area you'll run into some conservative folks, and then I don't know about like geography and landscape. It takes a while, but you can get to different stuff.
Yeah.
Like you don't see the mountains in Colorado until you hit like 40 minutes from down.
So like there's bits, it's just plains in Colorado. I've never been to Colorado.
Eastern Colorado is very flat. Yeah,
I want to go to Colorado.
It's
really
pretty.
Do. I want to do. There's the Denver Uke Fests.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
When is that?
You should go. I think it kind of changes year to year, but I think it's usually in May. That's what they usually aim for.
I should apply for that.
You should.
I'd really enjoy it.
They have a cool Uke Fest. It feels young and beery, if that makes sense.
Yes.
More beer.
That actually does perfectly make sense. Yeah, last night I drank alcohol for the first time in about 24 years. I sipped on some mead.
Yes.
It was delicious.
Did you feel like you were
Oh, I got mangled off of like 4 sips of meat. I was like, "Hey guys, let's go drink. I was gonna drink with you people. Like, I'm just gonna sip on it. It'll be fine."
Did you feel like you were breaking any sort of important?
No, I've been sober for like I was like 21 when I quit drinking because I kind of had to because I was getting paychecks for 7 nights work for $18.
Because you were drinking.
And I said, yeah, I need to stop drinking. And yeah, so it's, after 24 years, it's not like an accomplishment anymore. It's just how I live.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't like fish, so I don't do it anymore. I don't eat fish anymore.
Yeah.
I don't drink anymore. People are like, well, good for you. Congratulations. It's like,
They
no.
think it's like
I did the hard part 20 years ago. That was a long, long time ago. This is the easy part.
Yeah.
Coasting. Quitting smoking was way worse than anything I've ever done. Oh, Jesus, it was the worst. Kids don't smoke. Because kids listen to my podcast. There's like
don't
14
smoke
people.
Or Danielle will curse your dick.
Danielle will curse your dick.
I never got into smoking.
Don't. Especially you,
It
because
seems
your
like
voice
a real, definitely.
is so
And it seems
clear.
like a real mistress to have to like.
Yeah, my voice, like I gain like 2 or 3 notes on top and a bunch on the bottom, and just the richness of it is, and I'm like completely out of shape still, but what I love about it is my recovery time is so much better.
Yeah.
It's like, I run up the stairs and I'm at the top of the stairs like, okay, I'm good now. Whereas before I'd be like run to the top of the stairs, pant for about 20 minutes, and then like be panting as I'm walking down the street to get where I need to go.
You were such a cool guy back then.
Yeah, I was.
Who's this guy who's always panting around town?
And that's exactly it. It's like, I started smoking because I thought it would make me look cool, and then it's like, you look really awesome, stinking like an ashtray, just gross all over. Your face is all yellow and gross, and you can't breathe, and you have no stamina.
Some people are really into that.
I know. Yeah. Less than you'd think, apparently. And what kills me is, for a long time, going back to the insecurities and stuff, I thought it was me. I'm like, why don't girls like me? It's like, well, let's see. Could it be that you smell bad and you can't breathe and, all that other shit? Wow, you're staring at me like you're a psychiatrist going, yes, no, you're right.
And how does that make you feel?
Tell me about your mother.
Let's start with your mother.
Oh, so you have...
So now's the part
So your advice...
where I ask you to give me a better answer for what's the best advice I've ever gotten.
No, I really like your answer.
It's not like beautifully worded, but
It's not beautifully worded,
the
but-
most true thing I can think of.
But it's basically, you're cool. It's...
You're fine.
You're fine.
Have confidence if you can manage it, if you can find it in your being to be confident, because life is just a lot easier if you own it. And I feel like I read 17 magazine when I was a kid, and it said that a lot.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. But I never got how to do that.
But
until
17 was written by 28, 29-year-old women.
Me.
Coming to this realization, going, when I was 17, if someone had told me you're fine, I would have taken that advice. So I'm going to put that in there, and I'm going to win a Pulitzer.
And I'm going to change
I'm
the
going to
world.
change the world with "You're Fine." Meanwhile, they got the idea from when they were 17,
Yeah.
reading 17 magazine. Some 28-year-old
The
woman's like,
circle of life. The circle of life. Simba.
I just
This is
lifted
your
Danielle
land.
up and
Put me
presented her to
down.
the sun.
Carry me over there so I can dry hump that TV.
We were actually dry humping the TV. She's just playing now. What is wrong with that? We need to do a
I
show.
think we should start over.
I think we should do a show every week.
Do you want to
where
know
we
what
just
one of my
talk about-
dreams is? To
Yes.
have a late night talk show.
Let's do
Let's do it.
You could put a little TV with me on, or a little computer monitor, and I could be like your
My side.
what was his name? I could be your Ed
Announcer.
McMahon.
Yeah.
Just my head, because that's a very attractive look.
Yeah.
Just my like as close up on my big red nose as you can get. And yeah, I'll just sit there and you can interview people on Skype and they can be in a screen, but you have the whole setup in your house.
Let's do it.
Oh my God, you need to do this, and you can have like
It's one of my goals. I always meet people who tell me how to live my life and run my career, and I think they're doing it out of the kindness of their hearts. It's because they want to see more from me, like, why aren't you famous yet? You get that a lot, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, because that's not how the world works, first of all. And then for me, I'm an insecure artist, so I instantly feel like what I'm doing isn't impressive enough to them. And I know that's the wrong way to take it, but people always like kind of put words into your mouth as what your goals are and what you should be doing and what you're good at. And little do they know. This is another thing we don't have to talk about on your podcast, but like, I love being an inward songwriter who's always in her bedroom and like doesn't talk to anybody and is always sad. But I love being a performer. And it's interesting to like, I'll do anything as a performer. Like, oh, if you double dog dare me, I'll do anything. And then to also want to be taken seriously for my songs that are really important and serious and mean a lot. So it's like, how can I be a performer but still be taken seriously, but still not take myself too seriously? And like, how do I find this perfect balance of a showman, I guess, to be all the things?
Amazing, because we were talking before about how appealing I found your show, and I felt that there were similarities, and from what you just said, we came at it from opposite angles. Over the past couple of years, I've gotten more serious with the songs that I do. You know, I do majority covers because that's the gig that I do, but I went at it as, I'm an entertainer, I'm never going to be a great singer, I'm not going to be a musician because I've only been playing for a couple of years. So I'm going to really beef up the entertainment. And over the past couple of years, I've moved more towards being a more serious performer when I'm actually doing the songs. I'll throw in funny bits and everything, but I've been wanting the performance to be more serious.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you're coming at it from, you know, you wanted to be a serious performer, but as you go along, you want it to be more entertaining and more engaging to the audience. So we're sort of coming at it from opposite angles, and one day we will meet and make a
Beautiful baby. We'll meet on the fifth floor of the Tampa Bay Holiday
You
Inn.
went somewhere I was trying really hard not to go to because it's very difficult to do that, because I am an older gentleman and you are an attractive young woman, and it's hard not to go to the let's make a baby thing. And I wasn't saying, honey, let's make a baby to Danielle. She said it, not me.
Sorry, Christine. I didn't mean it.
Yeah, no, Aldrin Guerrero, when I saw his show in Portsmouth, I said I want to tour with him. And I felt as strongly. I was like, I really want to do a show with you because I think it would be a great show. Not because I admire you, yes, that is part of it, but it's more about the fact that I think our shows would complement each other really well, and I think it would just be such a solid show.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that. Danielle,
Let's take over the world.
Eats a
Start with
Sandwich
Bermuda.
is going to go on tour with me in
This is a verbal contract.
20-something. She just said yes, didn't you?
I said this is a verbal contract.
Okay, so
I
that
didn't
was
say yes.
that is an affirmation, and I can edit out the yes that you just said
And make it sound
make
like
it sound like yes. And every time you say yes, will just be that one sound clip.
Yes.
Yes.
And do you think I'm really cool? Yes. Yes.
That will be like the last 10 minutes is just me asking you questions about how great I am. And yes. Yes.
So was it me who inspired you to become a songwriter? Yes.
Was it me who at the time was doing nothing that inspired you to become a songwriter retroactively?
Yes.
Danielle, I can't thank you enough. The name of the movie again is
Packed in a Trunk, The Lost Art of Edith Lake Wilkinson. PackedInATrunk.com.
and that is on HBO. Danielle Ate the Sandwich wrote the music to it, and it is, and I felt so strongly about this that I actually sent you a message. I had not met Danielle at this point. We had corresponded sporadically, and she thought I was a creepy guy trying to get her to come to Bermuda to get into a bikini or something. I don't know what you were thinking,
I
but
don't even have a bikini. I don't even know where you buy those. So.
Joke's
on you.
You buy them in Bermuda.
It makes perfect
See,
sense.
my plan is coming to fruition. I had asked Danielle to come to Bermuda for a festival that I'm planning, and I was just doing preliminary work, and she thought I wanted to stuff her into a sack and take her to my van at the side of the road.
Make me your Bermudan concubine.
There you go.
Which is a novel I'm reading by Danielle Steele. No, it's not. Doesn't it sound like something I would like really late and lonely buy on Google Play? Like, I need something interesting tonight. Yeah, Bermudan concubine.
Bermudan.
It's only $2.99 on Google Play.
But I felt so strongly about the drawing back of curtains. It's a beautiful, beautiful CD. It's just to die for. And I actually sent you a message saying how much I enjoyed it. So that's how good it is. Go out and get it, everyone. And you're playing the Grand Northern Ukulele Festival?
Yes.
Are you definitely doing that?
I am, but it's not announced yet. When will this be out?
I will
They
edit
announced on
that bit
November
out.
15th.
I will. No, it actually might be. That's perfect, actually. Yes, Danielle will be playing at the Grand Northern Ukulele Festival in Huddersfield next year. Stay tuned. DanielleAteTheSandwich.com.
You got it. Facebook.com/DanielleAteTheSandwich is a good one.
Yeah. Also check her out on YouTube. You will enjoy her very much. What is the song that I love? In the bathroom, is right in the shirt. Another day. Another day. That is honestly one of my favorite songs of all time.
Cool.
I'm not even kidding. So go check out all her stuff. Thank you guys so much for listening. This podcast was brought to you by Mims Ukes and my amazing, amazing people. Oh, you're on Patreon too, aren't you?
I am.
You're one of the good big names on Patreon, and you're doing pretty well. I'm not going to tell stories out of school, but you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, Patreon is great.
Patreon is an amazing, amazing website. If you don't know what it's about, go check it out. Go check out patreon.com, Danielle Ate the Sandwich.
Yep, you got it.
And if you like this podcast, go to patreon.com/Mike Hine. Thank you to all my patrons. Thank you to Mims Ukes. And thank you to Danielle Ate the Sandwich, who made a dream come true today. And when we get to dry humping the TV, we'll make another dream come true.
That's true.
Thank you guys so much. Bye.
Bye.
All the glowing morning glories and all the petals fallen, all the flowing roads to freedom and all the fools who sought 'em. I am one of those who became someone brave in the face of the storm. I am one of those who was waiting to hold the weight of the world. All the rolling highways scattered with glitter and with longing. All the cursive of your wording, it left a certain haunting. I am one of those who became someone brave in the face of the storm. I am one of those who was waiting to hold the weight of the world. And it's a growing garden, it's an open drawer. It hits you like the crash of the feet tapping happy on floor. these mirrors that reminded are shattered at the framing. All the risers stacked with voices of all the morning glories. I am one of those who became someone brave in the face of the storm. I am one of those who was waiting to hold the weight of the world. I am one of those who became someone brave in the face of the storm. I am one of those who was waiting to hold the weight of the world. Circles like a madman. All the gerbils chirping in their cages. After hours at the pet supply store, jealous of the shapes that I've been making, and I'm wrong to be wondering, and I'm wrong. Alive with dancing goldfish, snakes and lizards diving in their food dish. All the crickets safe within their egg crates, ignorant of their last hour. And I'm wrong to be wondering, and I'm wrong. Doing backflips, birds are bragging, puffing up their plumage. All the hamsters chewing on their wood chips. Alley cats all meowing at the moon. And I'm wrong to be wondering, and I'm wrong, and I'm fortunate that I was born uncertain of that feeling that you give me. Won't you give it to me more? In the future when the ozone layer